Hello, this is Billy Core from the Nostalgia Mall, and one question I have gotten asked very frequently throughout my career here on YouTube is, do you have any modern computers? All you ever show are your vintage ones. Is that all you use? Well, first of all, my biggest answer for that would be, how do you expect me to edit and upload these videos without a modern computer? So, just to prove to you that I'm not completely insane and only have vintage computers, as nice as they are, I'm going to show off the three main modern computers that I use on a daily basis. Starting with my recently rebuilt main computer. This is my daily driver, the one I use more than any computer. The specs of this, well, it's got some new parts and some used parts in it. The case is I forget the exact model, but it's made by Fractal Designs. I haven't even had this case a week, actually. I bought it new off of Newegg. I really love the way it looks, all the blue, the glass on the side here. The motherboard, I forget the exact model number, but it's a socket 1155 MSI board with the Intel B75 chipset. It's a full ATX motherboard. I actually got this motherboard last week at Goodwill. That's right, I found a $20 for parts computer at Goodwill in a nonchalant black case. It had that MSI board in it. So I couldn't resist a $20 socket 1155 computer, so I brought it home and bought a new case for it and a new CPU for it, because it, despite being a socket 1155, it only had a Celeron in it. So I purchased my favorite CPU for modern computers, socket 1155 ones it is, the Core i5-3470. And the computer runs beautifully. There wasn't a single problem with that computer. It was a great deal for $20. I've still got the original case for this motherboard, well, that this motherboard was in. It's in my new bedroom computer, which we'll be looking at later in this video. Okay, so it has an MSI board, 8 gigs of RAM. I know that's not a lot, but it actually works just fine for me. I will upgrade it someday. It has a 480 gigabyte Crucial SSD, a 4 terabyte hard drive, which we actually set up in a previous video this past spring in the original computer it was in. And it's got I don't know if you can see it, but it's got a AMD RX 560 video card in it, the best video card I've ever had in my life. This is a new purchase. I bought it when I bought this case last week. I was needing a video card to help with my video editing, because editing on Intel HD graphics 2500, while it's not too bad, it was starting to wear my patience down a little bit, so I needed a video card that could handle video editing a little bit better. I'm really not into gaming with this, so while this card is probably pretty good for gaming, I probably won't be doing a whole lot of gaming on this card, but it's nice to have mainly for the video editing power that it will bring me. So, I don't know if you can really see the inside there. It's kind of dark. Maybe once I turn the computer on, you'll be able to see it better. But it is a very nice computer. Works just fine. So, I've got dual monitors set up with this. Both are the exact same model. This one right here is the monitor I got for my birthday back in 2013. And this one, which is the exact same model if my camera will focus, I bought at Goodwill just a few months ago, and it happened to be the exact same model monitor, which is really nice. I've never had dual monitors before where the monitors are the exact same model, so that is really handy. Keyboard is my Unicomp keyboard that I got for Christmas in 2015. Buckling spring. and a very boring Logitech wireless mouse that's designed for laptops, but it works just fine. So let's go ahead and power it on. Very, very bright white LEDs on this computer. We'll try to go to the BIOS if I can remember the right key. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, here's the MSI BIOS. It's, of course, UEFI. So, actually, let me get the camera on the tripod so it's not as shaky. First, one more look inside. Now the computer's turned on. Not very good at cable management, but I did try my best. Power supply, by the way, is a 520 watt Seasonic power supply recommended to me by my good friend Elmo3. So yeah. And yes, I know I'm using a stock Intel cooler. Kill me. Okay, back at the BIOS. CPU temperature is 41 degrees. That's normal, I believe. Go to settings, go to system status. I don't know how much information you can get from this. Forgot to mention it also has another hard drive in here, a 2 terabyte that stores my entire collection of YouTube videos. And you can also do overclocking, but that's not something I'm really into. It's just too risky. This BIOS isn't really all that advanced, to be honest with you, but it gets the job done. Rapid start technology. And the boot order. So, specs right here, Intel Core i5-3470 clocked at 3.2 gigahertz and 8 gigs of RAM. Didn't make any changes, but we'll save anyway. And we've lost focus again. Okay, it's running Windows 10, the latest release of it, that is. Come on. Okay, there we go. Let me put my password in. Alright. This thing boots in no time. This is probably the fastest computer I've ever owned. And just get a good look at the dual monitor setup there. How well that's coming out. Don't know why TeamViewer thinks I'm not online, but I am. So, we can go into, let's go into CPU-Z. I don't think I've run it on here yet. Go, Core i5-3470, 3.2 gigahertz, and it's a quad core. I looked into getting a i7 for this computer instead of an i5, but man oh man, even despite the age of Ivy Bridge, the i7s from that era still hold their value. So a little bit out of my price range right now, but Core i5 still works great. And yes, I do realize I've been using Ivy Bridge for 5 years now. But hey, it still works like new for me, so that's all that matters. I should be able to get a couple more years out of it, I think. Okay, the motherboard model is the MSI B75A-G43. BIOS date is from 2012, might be able to be updated. 8 gigs of RAM. and our RX 560 video card, which we can go into the settings for that. Originally, I wanted to get a NVIDIA 1050 Ti, but the prices on those have really shot up recently, I think due to crypto mining. And from what I've heard, these AMD RX series video cards are actually really, really nice. So I'm sure I'll be happy with this one instead. Really not sure how much we can look at here. So, I guess I can show off gaming on here, and you're going to laugh at me for the game I'm going to choose. But let's open up Steam and load up Goat Simulator. I know, it's not the best kind of game I should be showing off, but why not? Again, I'm really not much of a gamer when it comes to newer games. So, yeah. And I realize I don't have my speakers turned on. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to have to play this game from an awkward angle, but we should be able to get this taken care of. Get some special moves here. And yes, I realize screen capturing would be a lot more sensible, but we'll just do it the old-fashioned way. See if we can cause some destruction.
Such a magnificent.
Sometimes I can get this goat almost into space. Like when I do this. Now, I've gotten it higher before. Rest in peace, Outhouse. And yes, I know I should be showing some fancy first-person shooter, but I'm just not into that kind of game. I may look into trying that new Forza game that came out last year. I know a lot of my friends talk about how good it is, and I am into driving games and racing games, and I just got hit by a car. That hurt. Okay, I'm going to get them way up in the air, and I think I know how. I love when he does that.
Is that a goat?
Yes, it is. Shut up. Playing from this angle is really killing my neck, by the way. Okay. There we go. Sometimes I can get them all the way out in the ocean. Ow, that sounded painful. But my favorite kind of game would probably be anything open world like this, where there's really no set goal, except just goofing off. Anyway, yes, I want to exit. Okay. And I guess if you want to add me on Steam, you can. I really don't go on here very often, but if you want to add me, go ahead. I'm not going to stop you. So, I guess we might as well move on to our next computer. But first, let's go ahead and shut this down. Okay, we're here in the bedroom where the lighting is a lot lower, so I apologize for that. But here is my bedroom computer. This is the case that MSI board came from when I got it at Goodwill. I don't know the exact model number of this case, but the motherboard in here is the board that used to be in my main computer that we just saw, which is a Gigabyte. It's also a B75 base board, although this one is a mere micro ATX board, but it's still a good one at that. CPU is also a Core i5-3470, like in my main computer. Also has 8 gigs of RAM, a 180 gig Intel SSD, and a 1 terabyte hard drive for storing random crap on. Keyboard is just a Packard Bell keyboard. These always work great. 20-some inch Dell LCD widescreen monitor that I got at Goodwill recently. And a boring old Microsoft mobile mouse. So, let's go ahead and power it on, shall we? And yes, I still use optical drives in my computers, because I still have a use for them, believe it or not. So let's go into the BIOS setup here. And let me get my tripod set up. Okay. Again, the specs of this computer are very similar to that of my main computer out in the office. One big difference is that the video card on here, it really doesn't have a video card. It's just using the onboard Intel HD 2500 graphics, which for a secondary computer like this is just fine. So, there's some of the information. It's a Gigabyte B75M-D3H motherboard. BIOS date October 23rd, 2013. And there's all the drives. Not as many as the main computer outside in the office. Again, this is UEFI based. I've had this board for a couple of years now, and I've never had an issue with it. Well, I did have an issue with it. This is actually not the original board I had of this model. The first one I bought new in January of 2016, and a year later in January of 2017, the motherboard just completely died on me for no reason. I just could not ever get it to power on again, and I suspect that the power supply that I was using at the time killed it. So thankfully, it was still under warranty from Gigabyte, so I was able to get it RMA'd, and they sent me a brand new one, which is what we're using right now, and I've had it for a year and a half now, and knock on wood, it still works great. So let's get out of here and boot into our OS, and it's running, once again, Windows 10. I'm actually considering dual booting my main computer out in the office with Windows 10 and Ubuntu Mate. That might be a few weeks because I've got a lot of stuff on my plate at the moment that needs its attention before that can happen. I'm Cortana. Ask me. Yeah, let me ask you something. Is there a way you can shut up and never bother me again? Windows 10 is, I'm one of the few people in the world that actually enjoys using Windows 10. I've never really had too many issues with it, but Cortana, or Cortana, however you want to pronounce it, never really been a fan of it. I find it kind of annoying. And for some reason on my desktop I have a picture of Fred Flintstone looking like he just ate a bad piece of bell pepper and he's desperate for a bathroom. So yeah, I don't know what was up with that. Let's see, do I have CPU-Z on here? Yes, I do. Specs that'll show will probably be about the same as the office computer, but once again, it's an i5-3470, 3.2 gigahertz. It's the motherboard is a Gigabyte B75D-D3H, and that's my security software nagging me about something. 8 gigs of memory again. Graphics, it's just onboard Intel. So yeah, this really does make a really nice little secondary computer. And it's another thing I don't like about Windows 10 are the constant ads you get sometimes in your notifications. Again, for the most part, love Windows 10, but there are a few things here and there that annoy me. But anyway, it's really nice to have two computers that are almost identical in specs and hardware. And it's so if I'm in my office or the bedroom, I pretty much have the exact same hardware, although this computer lacks the really nice video card. So we'll go ahead and shut this one down and move on to our last computer for the day. Alright, now we're going to take a look at my main daily driver laptop. This is my Lenovo ThinkPad T530 that I got for Christmas this past year. Very, very nice little laptop. It's, well, not really little, it's a 15-inch screen, but very reliable, I gotta say that, and very fast. Take a look at the port layout here. We get one USB 2 port, two USB 3 ports, a FireWire port, which is nice, a mini display port, and on this side, get some slots here for a card here, SD card slot there, headphone jack, a DVD-RW drive, and an Ethernet jack. And on the back here you get a powered USB 2.0 port, which is nice. And one thing I love about this laptop is it has a wonderful, wonderful battery. The battery, I get about 5 or 6 hours out of it, and yeah, it really comes in handy a lot, especially when the power goes out and you want to watch a movie. So we'll open it up. Keyboard's got a little bit of wear on it, but that's mostly for me. And there's the screen. Let me see if I can get the camera at a good angle here. Okay, let's go ahead and power it on. Oh, the specs of this computer. It's got a Core i5 in it. Once again, although this one's a dual core, clocked at 2.6 gigahertz, 8 gigs of RAM, a 128 I want to say gig MSATA SSD, which we actually installed on camera a couple of months ago, and a 640 gig hard drive for storage. So it makes for a really nice little laptop. Let me log in again. Okay, on this laptop here, I've got a lot of junk on my desktop, which is usually a no-no when it comes to computer geeks using a computer, but I'm lazy. So let's get the camera situated here. And let's see if we can run CPU-Z. Go. We'll worry about the update later. Okay, so it's a Core i5-3320M. It's a mobile processor. Again, it's only dual core, but that's perfectly okay. It's actually has hyper-threading, which is nice. And it's obviously a Lenovo motherboard. 8 gigs of RAM. And it has Intel HD graphics 4000, which is a lot nicer than 2500 in my opinion. So yeah, love this laptop. I use it every day. I usually use it in bed before I go to bed and when I wake up in the morning, because I could get a tablet to use, because that's what everyone's using instead of laptops these days, but I just prefer to use a full-fledged laptop computer with a real keyboard and a real operating system. And the same goes for cell phones. As nice as having a smartphone is, I just prefer having a real laptop to carry around with me. But here's Specky. Running Windows 10 Pro 64-bit. Oh, it's actually not only Intel HD graphics 4000, but it actually also has an NVIDIA 5400M. It has dual video cards on here, which is nice. Let's see, more CPU information there. I hear a truck backing up. But it's, I think I got an email there, but it's only got a 1366 by 768 display. Sometime I want to update it to something a lot nicer than that, something with a little bit more screen real estate. And of course it's got built-in wireless in. So yeah, great laptop, and I highly recommend it. So I guess that's all there is to show as far as my main modern computers. I hope this finally answers the question about me having one of these. See, it's not just vintage computers I own. I'm not that insane. So, till next time, this is Billy Core, signing off. Thank you for visiting the Nostalgia Mall. If you liked what you saw, please like, subscribe, and follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also support me on Patreon if you would like. The link to all of these are down below. Until next time, this is Billy Core, signing off.